I think it's been absolutely brilliant. Probably the best shoe I've had over the last 5 years. These lasted 365 days. I've been using these shoes while we're shooting Gotta Hoop 'em All, and that was at least 70 different basketball courts. These shoes have seen every different surface. They've been through water, mud, rain. How did they hold up? I'd say primarily an indoor shoe, but I've used them 95% outdoors. How has it been after 365 days? Let's see if we can find any battle damage, any parts that have worn down. Let's get a first look at the knit over the top of the shoe. It's held up surprisingly well. I was really impressed. For a knitted material, I was expecting it to start coming loose, but on both shoes, it's actually done quite well. I almost feel you could get another 365 days out of these. That's how strong and how well this knit has lasted. They've been through mud, they've been sand, they've been on bitumen, asphalt, concrete, played in the rain. They've been through a lot of hard-hitting wear. You see the Nike Tick Stitch logo is still in great condition. I call it mostly white. How has the support system lasted? So it has like a fly wire section where the laces pull together. That here, it has done very well. Still pulling tight in, and still after 365 days is holding very well, I might add too. All points of contact have maintained over that full year. Now, I'll tell you a story about the tongue of the shoe. I tried them on. First time I pulled them tight is the tongue is so thin. It just seems to be a singular strip of leather. It wasn't enough to stop the laces cutting into your ankles on the top. It actually hurt quite a bit. That what I'd do is get my socks and fold them down so I could create a secondary layer here. That lasted for probably up to 2 months. Every time I dreaded wearing these shoes, but it just missed that padding in the beginning. But after that 2-month period, it actually started to soften up. The laces, they'd work kind of in a nice groove. So I'm glad I didn't get rid of them straight away. I'm glad I held out, because for 2 months of discomfort, I was then able to get a good 10 months of playing time. You can see there's like air bubbles on the tongue. I wish they'd probably gone the other way. Like just turn them a bit so that way the laces could have been cushioned on the air bubble. Alright, next we talk about the midsole. I think it's fused itself strongly onto the outsole. This being white will get dirty quite quickly. Even though I thought this MX bubble might have some trouble, it's still in great condition too. It's holding and it hasn't pulled away. It has not been compromised. After I've worn them for 365 days, how did they last on the outsole? And how did it go handling the concrete, handling the tarmac, handling the asphalt, and even the indoor hard courts? So the right shoe has actually done reasonably well. It's still got most of its groove pattern still there in one of the flex grooves here, where you get to bend your foot. See, I'm making more contact on the floor and it's wearing out a bit. I noticed the first sign of wear is in this outward section here. I have to admit, I'm probably quite heavy on putting pressure on the outer sole here. Wear away, but not really worn through. One of the parts I didn't think I was heavy on, but now realize, was the heel. I didn't realize I stood on my heel or used it so much. So this is like planed smooth. It used to have bumps here all over, but now it's just like a smooth surface. Let's see how the left shoe is done. It has suffered every pivot, every spin move, every Dirk leg shot. Being as though I'm right-handed, I really do enjoy stepping off the left leg, fadeaway Kobe style shot. I must put a lot more pressure on my left foot. Some of the things you can notice on this section, I've worn it down. We're going beyond the tread depth into the base of it. Basically have sheared this whole section flat. how the right shoe is in a lot better condition than the left shoe. Knit is actually still in pretty good condition. I just wish I could almost get them like resoled as you would like a pair of tires. Let's look at the lining of the shoe. It feels like a nice neoprene. It's a great feel, and as I've worn the shoe, I think it's held quite well. The pair I got has the mathematic equation for force, that on the right shoe here, my foot must move a little bit more than on the left shoe. I'm starting to pull it away from the edge here. I think as my foot's moving, it's just catching it and pulling it over and over. That's a good sign of wear right there. The lining's held up well, it's still cushiony, it's still soft, there's no rips. These are the original laces. I swap them out from time to time for different colors. When you play basketball outdoors, your hand will get dirty from bouncing the ball, and then if you want to like retighten your shoes, when you go to touch the laces, especially at the top here, I found that these edges got dirty very quickly. I've washed the laces since and they've come back to white. One of the other points about this shoe that really has been a highlight, and now I'm looking for it in a lot of other shoes, is this heel counter. I had another pair of basketball shoes that were just soft here. Right? You could push on it and the shoe would just fold in like this. And after 6 months or so playing in those shoes, I started getting bursitis in the Achilles tendon. That was why my next shoe really needed a very strong heel counter, something to really help stabilize and protect my Achilles. It's this huge chunky section. Brand new in Australia, $270. I paid $190, definitely worth the $190, but after a year of playing with them, I would have been happy had I paid $270 at this rate. Now I definitely feel like I got a bargain. So brand new, yes, extremely comfortable with the cushioning setup. That was excellent. One thing that's really made the difference was the hard ankle cup. The one thing I found uncomfortable brand new was the tongue. It was too thin, it cut into your foot. So yes, I'd recommend these shoes, definitely for a heavier player, more of a post player. Distance for dollar, I'd put these shoes at very good. Would I buy these again? Yes, definitely. I'm looking forward to the LeBron 19 because of the good experience I've had with these, the 18s. Some of them are going to be entering the second-hand market, so you're going to be wondering, is that going to be worth it? You got to check how much they've been worn down. I thoroughly recommend these shoes. If you're going to use them for maybe light training, if you got them for a bargain price, you'd still be happy. If you find value in this content, please like and subscribe.